Bitter Harvest by Chapter 4 Stupid Cult Friend. Written script was the very model of a good cult friend. He wasn't actually a model. Honestly, he was a little plain-looking, no more or less attractive than any other stallion, but he was a writer. Every pony knew writing was one of the 5 sexiest jobs, up there with musician and firefighter. It said so in Cosmere. So that made up for the fact that he tended to blend into the crowd, even when there was no crowd. He wasn't clingy or overbearing like some ponies' cult friends. In the 2 weeks they had been dating, they had only ever gone out when Golden Harvest wanted to go out, and he never steered the conversation towards sports or things like that. He was just fine talking about makeup and scented candles. But he didn't ever talk too excessively. Before any conversation got too drawn out, he would spot a passing stallion, probably one of his buddies, because he always did this waggling eyebrow trick that had to be an inside joke, and Golden Harvest was glad to get some breathing time. No pony liked a needy stallion that just wouldn't leave her alone. No, script gave her space. He had a keen intuition of what she wanted like that, which was another one of his good cult-friendly traits. For example, once when they were trying to decide where to go for a date, he suggested they go to the spa and get hoofacures. How many mares had a cult friend who actually wanted to go to the spa? Golden Harvest was a lucky mare. And she never caught him flirting with other mares either. Most mares tended to keep their stallion in line, or else his eyes would start following the fine curvy flanks of that one cute waitress, the one with the bun in her mane. Yeah, she was cute, but Golden Harvest never saw him staring when there was an attractive mare nearby. He was just that loyal. She trusted him enough that she didn't feel the need to watch him at all in the presence of attractive mares. Her eyes could be elsewhere. He would behave himself. Yes, written script was a perfect cult friend, and Golden Harvest was glad to have him. Provided, of course, that he wasn't the lying, cheating son of a horse that had gone behind her back to get a role in a play so that he could get kissy with a mare that wasn't her. "Script," she said, poking at her juice box with a straw. The box was empty, but she continued to pretend to sip from it now and then because she was getting really tired of carrot juice and didn't want to open up another carton. It was nice of the staff at the little outdoor cafe to let her smuggle her carrot juice to the table. "Do you have, like, a twin brother or something?" Written script shook his head. "No, I was an only child." Golden Harvest nodded slowly. She was also an only child, further proof that they were perfect for one another. Unless it turned out that he was a cheating bastard. Then it would explain things, because only children sometimes tended to be jerks. Not all of them, of course, because obviously she turned out fine. "Huh, that's weird, because there was a stallion in the play I saw last night who looked just like you. Must have been the makeup." Script raised his eyebrows. "Oh, you saw the play last night? I thought you said you'd be too busy with your carrots." There he went, deflecting the topic. Golden Harvest flexed her jaw. "Carrots are hardy plants," she snapped. She took a deep breath to try and calm herself before continuing. "Script, just tell me the truth, and I promise I won't be mad." Written script furrowed his brows. "Okay. Last night, were you at your writing gig, or were you at the play?" "At the play, of course." Script grinned. "What did you think of it? Also, what's this about a writing gig? I didn't know writers had gigs. I thought they just wrote." Golden Harvest was not going to cry. Sure, her cult friend was openly admitting to deceiving her, but she was the master of her own emotions. "Oh, I thought it was great. I especially loved the part where you smooched the female lead." Bitter sarcasm, however, was something she was not above. "It was pretty good, huh?" Written script wore a toothy grin. "I've got to thank you for that. Without the practice I got with you, it never would have looked convincing at all." Golden Harvest brain made a screeching noise as it stopped in its tracks. "Practice? What do you mean, practice?" "I mean what we've been doing over the last couple of weeks," said Script. "Thank you for putting up with me, Golden. You really helped me improve my performance." Pain flashed in her eyes. "So she's the mare you really want? I'm just practice so you can make her happy? How is that supposed to make me feel?" Written script tilted his head to the side. You're kidding, right?" Golden Harvest dragged her hoof against the ground. If you wanted to be with her, you should have at least broken up with me first. That's just common decency." A chuckle escaped Written script's lips. "Honey, I think I need to reintroduce myself because you obviously missed it the first time." He took her hoof in his and shook it. "Hello, I'm Written script. I'm an actor, and I am very, very gay." Stallions were all the same. One moment, they seemed like the most perfect cult friend ever, and the next they turned out to be a gay actor using you to rehearse a romantic scene in their play. It happened every time. Golden Harvest's ears flattened to her head. You're gay?" Script nodded. "This was one of the first things I told you about myself when we met." So, she stammered, "so you're like bi then, right?" No, I pretty much exclusively go for stallions." Written script smiled sheepishly and rubbed the back of his head. Golden Harvest sputtered. Her mane began to fray right before her eyes. "So you're saying I'm your one exception? The only mare you've ever loved? You don't remember this?" Script's eyes shifted right and left. "Listen, I think there's been some sort of misunderstanding here. I'm partly to blame for that." He was entirely to blame for this. There's definitely some misunderstanding. I do not date gay stallions, Golden Harvest said, her voice quaking. And I don't date mares, he said. But when we met, it seemed like we could help each other out. I needed to practice being close to a mare for my role in the play, and you needed some pony to cover for you. Cover for me? Golden Harvest repeated. You know, Script waved his hoof in a circle. I pretended to be your cult friend so that a certain relatives that just don't get it will leave you alone about that particular aspect of your life. It's worked for you so far, hasn't it? Your mom hasn't given you any trouble lately? Almost none of what he had just said made any sense. My mom? Yeah, said Script. The very first thing you ever said to me was that you needed your mom to see you with a stallion. He leaned forward and lowered his voice. Hey, look, I get it. I've been in that boat myself and I'm happy to help. But it's only a temporary solution. Eventually you're going to need to tell your mother about the real you. You'll feel better, and no matter what happens, she'll still love you. The real me? Golden Harvest was getting tired of parroting every other thing her cult friend was saying, but every word that came out of his mouth only made her more confused. The real you, said Script, nodding his head. The wonderful daughter your mother has who just so happens to like other mares. Wait, you think I'm gay? You think I'm gay and I'm trying to hide it from my mother because... Half of Golden Harvest wanted to laugh at the absurdity of it all, and the other half wanted to curl into a ball and sob. She split the difference and sank to her haunches. Her empty juice box dropped to the ground. Of course, I suppose I'm not too surprised you didn't catch some of the details of our arrangement. Your eyes were glued to that one mare at the bar all night. Script grinned. This is not happening, Golden Harvest muttered. I am not being told by my gay cult friend that he thinks I am gay. I am not being covered for by my gay cult friend so that my mother doesn't find out I'm gay. This is just another ridiculous dream like the one where I kissed Applejack or where I go to school naked. I will wake up and everything will be, oh goddesses, it's her! She searched frantically for cover to hide behind, but her immediate surroundings were woefully lacking in trees or mailboxes. Who? The mare from the bar? Script nudged her and winked. You should go say hi to her. Nothing's going to happen if you just hide. Not her, Golden Harvest shrieked, the color draining from her face. My mother! Beta-Carotene was a middle-aged mare with an orange coat and a poofy swirl of mane. As a nutritionist, she was fairly fit for her age, and she walked with a youthful spring in her step that belied her years. However, the small wrinkles at the corners of her eyes and the air of matronly wisdom that seemed to radiate from her cued ponies in that here was a pony who had been around the block a few times and knew the lay of the land. She was also, objectively, the most embarrassing mother in Equestria. Oh, if it isn't my little Carrot Top! Golden's mother trotted across the square towards them. Golden Harvest's eyes darted rapidly back and forth. She grabbed Script by the neck. Quick, kiss me! But I thought, His protests were drowned out in a smacking of lips. Script's breath tasted like stale hay and breath mints, and Golden Harvest didn't like the scratchiness of his chin, but the sensation of his lips against hers was also pretty gross. It was a terrible kiss. What a brilliant performance! Mom clapped her hooves against the flagstones. Why, I nearly believed it! Golden Harvest broke away from the kiss and wiped her mouth with her hoof, and then wiped it again with her other hoof because, ew, spit. Written Script fell back to his haunches, coughing and sputtering. Oh, hello, Mother, she said. I didn't notice you because I was in the middle of something with my cult friend. You haven't met him yet, have you? Her mother gave the hacking stallion a cheerful wave. Well, hello again, Script. I haven't seen you since last month's meeting. Script managed a weak smile. Hi, Mrs. Carotene. Golden Harvest's smile grew uneasy. You know each other? Well, of course I know Script, honey. He's a member of the CCFFA. She gave Script a hoof to help him stand, which he accepted gratefully. What's the Colt Cuddlers and Filly Foolers Alliance? Golden Harvest's mother answered before she could finish asking. We have meetings on the first Tuesday of every month. You should come, sweetie. There's some cute mares there who would love to meet you. Golden Harvest pouted her lip out. Mom, I'm not gay. Her mother rolled her eyes. Of course you aren't, dearie. You are as straight as the flight of an arrow. A mischievous grin spread across her face. That reminds me, Script, how are things with Spiral Fletching? Script's ears sank. He and I broke up a few weeks ago, he said. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Mother gave him a slow pat on the back. After a moment, her eyes alighted on Golden Harvest's mane. With a brief sigh, she dug a brush out of her saddlebag and took to brushing out the tangles that had developed. Topsy, I wish you would consider cutting your mane short. You would make the loveliest butch. Mother! Golden Harvest reared back, wincing as the brush caught in her mane. I'm just saying, dear, her mother said, regaining control of the brush, that if you were to put forward a little bit of effort, you could have any mare you wanted. Maybe that nice apple girl, Golden Harvest turned bright red. She breathed through her teeth, am not a filly fooler. Of course, I keep forgetting, Topsy. You have been absolutely straight, only interested in stallions forever and ever since What's-Her-Face broke your poor heart 2 months ago. Mother patted her on the withers. Golden Harvest bit her lip. Daisy was just a friend, Mom. You scared her off with all your weird filly-fooler stuff. Beta-carotene put a hoof on her hip. If she scares so easily, then she's not good enough for my daughter anyway. But I seem to recall I was out of town on business when you came crying to me that she'd left you. Golden Harvest crossed her forelegs over her chest and scowled. It had definitely been her mother's weird filly-fooler ways that had spooked Daisy. The fact that said ways had come through Golden Harvest was irrelevant. Ponies imitated their parents all the time. It wasn't her fault Daisy had mistaken her actions to mean Golden wanted that kind of relationship. Golden Harvest wasn't like her mother. She wasn't a filly-fooler. She had until recently thought she had a cult friend. Someday when she had a filly of her own, she wasn't going to be so weird around her, pointing out which mares passing by on the street were screamers and encouraging her to find herself a filly to fool around with. Her mother sighed. Fine, go ahead and sulk. I'm only trying to help. She put the hairbrush back in her saddlebag. I can't stay any longer anyway. I'm meeting your other mother for tea at 1:30. Is there anything you want me to pass along to Taproot, sweetie? Golden Harvest continued to sulk. Very well. Beta-carotene adjusted the strap on her bags. I love you, Goldie. It was good seeing you, Script. Wait. Golden Harvest dug into her saddlebags and handed the box of carrot juice to her mother. Give her this. After a moment of hesitation, she hugged her mom. And this. Her mother kissed her on the forehead. I will. You take care of yourself, my little carrot top. Written Script watched her trot off into the busy street. His eyes were as wide as saucers. Wow, you never told me your mother was the beta-carotene. Golden Harvest's shoulders sagged. The one and only, she grumbled. She's only the most outspoken lesbian in the whole district. He was gushing. Golden Harvest's gay cult friend was gushing over how great a gay mother she had. This was just a gay old time. I mean, she's the pony that got the conception clinic established at Ponyville General Hospital so same-sex couples didn't need to go to Canterlot to have foals. Yeah, Golden Harvest sighed. About 20 years ago, after she and Taproot had to take a train to Canterlot in order to have me. This is just incredible. Your mom is my hero. Written Script paused, scrunching up his nose. But wait, why in Equestria would you want to convince her you're straight? Because I am not beta-carotene, Golden Harvest snapped. A few nearby ponies turned their heads at her outburst. I'm not my mother. I don't flirt with mares half my age or take trips down to Las Pegasus to join in on big herding conventions. I'm not my other mother either. Celestia knows she's just as screwed up as Beta, but at least she's not as public about it. No, she just waits at home and pretends she's fine with it. I'm not like them. I am not a filly-fooler. I'm me. I'm Golden Harvest. I'm... She trailed off as her voice grew weak and hoarse. Written Script held her awkwardly in his hooves. Hey, it's all right. Don't cry. He cleared his throat. Look, I'm just an actor. I can't tell you who you are. And for what it's worth, I'm sorry if I jumped to conclusions on that front. He paused, then muttered out the side of his mouth, even though it's a really easy conclusion to jump to. Golden Harvest gave a miserable moan and sniffed loudly, wiping her nose on his coat. He grimaced but continued. But what I can tell you is that the type of pony you fall in love with is only a small part of who and what you are. If you happen to have the same orientation as your mother, not that I'm saying you do, that doesn't mean you have to be anything like her if you don't want to. Golden Harvest remained silent for a long time. When she finally did speak, her voice was muffled by his shoulder. Script? Script pulled back and looked down at her. Yeah? I think I'm going to have an identity crisis. Golden Harvest stared shakily at the ground. I'm probably going to blame you. You're a nice colt and I don't want to hit you. Script rubbed his cheeks. Thanks. The director would kill me if I got a bruise now. So you should probably go before it starts. Golden Harvest looked up and smiled at him weakly. Written Script stood up. Are you going to be okay? She shrugged. Probably not. He gave her one last hug before walking away. Hey, let's still be friends, okay? So went the strangest relationship to ever end on those words.